You know what? I was going to talk about Luca, and we will. Don't worry, we will. But let's just get it over with the WWE because we love our wrestling. Now, I haven't been paying as much attention to wrestling nowadays, like you, BRF, Flash, Luis, Knows Tunes. Also, go check out Nessa. Don't sleep
Yes,
on Nessa. Go check out Nessa. Did you anticipated Brock Lesnar to come to SummerSlam?
in the great words of Daniel Bryan and Kane, hell no, I did not anticipate that. I knew it was going to be a surprise eventually, but I did not expect that. I expected maybe The Rock to kind of make an appearance after he lost the title or something like that.
Hell,
To
maybe Stone Cold.
yeah, even like I said, maybe The Rock, because it would have made a little bit of sense because it's like you failed. I handed everything to you on a silver platter. You still failed. So I really expected that, but Brock, considering everything that has been linked not only to him but to WWE, to the name, to Vince McMahon lawsuit and everything, I did not expect that. And in fact, I ran across an interesting fact today. I don't know if I sent it to you or not. They paid Brock Lesnar his salary, although he was on his hiatus. They
Yes,
paid
they
him his
did.
salary.
But that's kind of not a surprise to me, champ. Remember, I told you before when Shawn Michaels retired for like 4 years, Jim Ross, they admitted they paid him $750,000 to do nothing.
Yeah, but that's Shawn Michaels. I mean, the thing is, people can say what they want to about Shawn back then. And I remember BRF, shout out to BRF and Flash, I would say, shout out to those two. They said that his second half of his career was better than his first half. But
No, it
when you think
was.
about
No, it was. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying
yeah,
the reason why they paid Brock, despite the
oh,
lawsuit,
yeah,
the talent. Brock Lesnar is a big time name, and when they heard his theme song, it was like, holy shit. Michael Cole said it best. Holy shit. Now I'm kind of jealous because again, it was at New Jersey, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Although Cardi B was kind of there, so I did kind of enjoy that part. Yeah, I know exactly what. Yeah, but no one anticipated this, champ. Brock Lesnar. I mean, I'm still astounded. And plus, champ, that Mr. McMahon documentary. Give it now. You know a lot of stuff about Vince McMahon and all the other things, but you even said it yourself. Once you saw that documentary, you had a different outlook.
yeah, I had a different outlook because the thing is, you really think that people are playing characters. You really think that people are playing characters at a certain point, but at a certain point, they're not. You start realizing that a lot of this art, so to speak, is really a lot of this art that he's portraying is really him. And the thing is, the dead giveaway should have been a lot of WWE superstars say that your character is just you tuned up times 100. But for Vince McMahon, that was his true nature. I mean, when you see Stacy Keibler do the dance on the table, when you see him, fall back on out of the damn chair, you realize with all of these bra and panties matches, all of these little I like to
Do
call
you remember the
fantasy
video I
matches.
sent you earlier?
Yeah, I mean, you really realize this was his true nature. And yeah, I mean, it put a whole nother perspective because, like I said, you think that people are playing characters. People always say, well, that's part of the character. That's part of the character. But no, that was his true nature. I mean, and he was you know, a bit of a creature, to be honest with you. I have to be very, very brutally honest. And that's just putting it mildly. That's just me being nice so the kids can
You're
keep
being
watching.
very generous when you say
So
that.
he's quite a creature, if you want me to be honest with you. But it's like, but I'm being nice. That was in the great words of Chris Rock. That was a nice one. But he's very creepy. He's kind of a creature. It is just like, wow, you really are this dude that you're betraying on the screen. And the fact that Brock Lesnar's name was brought up in that lawsuit, uh, I never thought that we would see him again because number one, it's a bad look, especially nowadays.
With
And
the
I'm
whole
not
Me Too
discrediting.
movement and stuff.
Yes, I'm not discrediting back when we was younger or what have you. I'm not discrediting our generation and the generation before us. But nowadays, with the advent of social media, when criticism was at its loudest, yes, I believe that it was a bad look because guess what? You're going to you're going to get a lot of criticism, and there's going to be picket signs every darn where in order to either say something derogatory or either say something uh back, say something about Brock and the ongoing lawsuit. So because it's ongoing. Now, if it was over and he had been found innocent and he had been exonerated
That's a
or
different
something
story.
like that, that's a whole nother story. You can say whatever. Hey, at the end of the day, you can say what you want to. Once they say innocent, hey, the judge said I was innocent. Whether you did it or not, is the court is the court of public opinion. That's another whole nother story. But the case is still ongoing. There's a lot of things that still in the making at this point. Not to mention, I think you mentioned it right before we went on the air, the plane ride from hell with the whole Flair Runnels. And now Flair, he was, wilding, but everybody know about the plane ride from hell with Brock Lesnar. And in fact, that ain't even the worst part. I mean, that's just a little bit of the part. I mean, remember when Kurt Hennig, God rest his soul, kept saying the only
Mr.
man
Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, the only man that took down Brock Lesnar at 50,000 feet. So I mean, that was, it's a lot of it's gonna be a lot of criticism. Don't be surprised if derogatory things are said, or a lot of signs in the crowd, or even if you see protest about it. Don't be surprised, because guess what? This is ongoing. It's not one of those situations where it's going to go away anytime soon. And the thing is this. Another thing people are not talking about. What if a verdict comes out in the middle of this run? What if a settlement or a verdict comes out in the middle of this run? Because everybody know that Johnny Ace, Johnny Laurinaitis, he just started snitching. Everybody knows he done flipped on Vince McMahon already. Everybody knows that. So
Right.
what if a verdict is reached on this lawsuit while this run is going on, and everything literally comes out, even more information comes out? You got to think about that. Now, as a wrestling fan, I think this is the perfect thing to finish off his farewell tour, because Brock has had John Cena's number.
SummerSlam back in 2014 when he dominated, demolished him. And it's also great for fans, Champ, because Cena is now back as a babyface.
Yes.
At first, I mean, people are still not used to Cena being the heel. At first, when he actually did it, though, no one anticipated that. But yeah, to your point, there's going to be a lot of women. There are going to be a lot of feminist groups. They're going to be appalled with the WWE bringing in Brock Lesnar, given the fact that it is still an ongoing lawsuit. Now, to your point, if Brock Lesnar is completely vindicated, then hey, it's the WWE within its right. But Champ, I'm kind of not surprised at all, because WWE, they're going to look at it and do what's best for business. And look, Paul Levesque, better known as Triple H, he's the son-in-law to his predecessor, Vince McMahon. So he had to learn a thing or two with Vince regarding this situation. But it's still a bad look because, again, if this were back in the day, it would have been a huge issue. Now, because of social media, now because of movements like the Me Too movements and stuff like that, it's going to hurt. But it was shocking, though, to see Brock Lesnar back. I mean, no one anticipated this. Overall, Champ, it was a really good SummerSlam. It was a really good SummerSlam. I mean, you had some good matches with CM Punk. I mean, that was a really interesting SummerSlam. It's the timing in which Brock Lesnar was back. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, and SummerSlam is the PLE of the year, with pay-per-view now. It's going back to pay-per-views, but it is the pay-per-view of the year. I think everything that they did wrong at WrestleMania, they made up for it doing SummerSlam. And SummerSlam, look, you had
it was a better audience. It was a better audience. I mean, come on, Chip. Look, I'm sorry. I like to go to Vegas, but that audience, that was kind of terrible.
Yeah, and the fans, look, the fans, we are a big part of the show. How hype we are, the crowd, and that plays a part into that. Plus, it didn't help that Travis Scott was involved in the main event. That was a whole nother issue. So yeah, I mean, because ever since then he hasn't been a part of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I really believe that SummerSlam was a hell of a pay-per-view. You had the heist of the century, the tables, ladders, and chairs match that we have not seen since the Hardy Boys. You had, Jade Cargill going one-on-one with Tiffany Stratton, one of her best matches. Gunther and CM Punk going head-to-head right before the heist of the summer, going head-to-head in one of the best technical matches we've probably seen this year. They was going at it. The tribal chief showing a different side of himself, sacrificing himself for Jey Uso in that first match. Everybody called it Bronson Reed, the tribal thief, because he had the George draped across his neck. I mean, how many pairs of shoes can you steal? But it was real good, man. That was great, and it topped it all off with Seth freaking Rollins just coming out there stealing one once again. People talk about Edge and the way he was doing the Money in the Bank. I think when you talk about having an opportunity to win Money in the Bank, you got to put Seth Rollins right there, because guess what? Although Edge took advantage as far as Money in the Bank, he took advantage during, New Year's Revolution and on SmackDown. When you think about Seth Rollins, he took advantage on the biggest stages that you could possibly find. On the biggest stages. I mean, going out there pulling the James Brown, throwing down his crutches and showing the world that he was, that was all a work. I fooled you all. That was the highlight of the evening, man. So SummerSlam was the pay-per-view of the year, man. Can't wait to see what happens at my favorite pay-per-view, the Survivor Series.
It was a lot better than WrestleMania. I think Backlash was pretty good though, but SummerSlam just topped it off. I mean, man, overall, it was a really good SummerSlam. Shout out to the great folks in New Jersey, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Of course, as champ, you always call me the New Jersey genius. There's a lot of Jersey people there that were excited, fun. It was great. I'm glad that the fans got their money's worth. Great event. It was a great event.